December 16, 2024 dawned like any other day in Madison, Wisconsin. At Abundant Life Christian School, the day began routinely. But at 10:57 a.m., a chilling call shattered the peace. A second grader reported a shooting within the school walls. The response was immediate. A Dane County Sheriff's deputy arrived at the scene within minutes, followed closely by Madison police officers. By 11:05 a.m., the shooter was down, a gun lying nearby. The scene was secured, and the long, agonizing process of piecing together the tragedy began. The minutes that unfolded between the first call and the confirmation of the shooter's demise felt like an eternity to the terrified students, staff, and parents waiting anxiously for news. The world watched as well, the all-too-familiar horror of a school shooting unfolding once again on their screens. The timeline painted a stark picture of the day's chaos. The rapid response of law enforcement, the frantic efforts of first responders, the grim task of transporting casualties. Amidst the chaos and unfolding narrative, the true heart of the tragedy lay with the victims and their families. A teacher, dedicated to nurturing young minds, lost her life in a place meant for learning and growth. A student, full of potential and dreams, had their future brutally cut short. 6 other families faced the agonizing uncertainty of a loved one injured, their lives hanging in the balance. The physical wounds would heal, but the emotional scars would likely linger, a constant reminder of the day their lives were irrevocably changed. The outpouring of support from the community was immediate and heartfelt, but it could do little to alleviate the raw pain of their loss. The families of the deceased now faced the unimaginable task of navigating their grief while planning funerals for their loved ones. The community rallied around them, offering condolences, meals, and shoulders to cry on. But the true healing, the process of coming to terms with such a senseless loss, would take time, love, and unwavering support. As the community grappled with the aftermath of the shooting, investigators turned their attention to unraveling the mystery of Natalie Rupnow, the 15-year-old girl who orchestrated the carnage. Who was this teenager who brought such devastation to her school? What drove her to commit such a horrific act? Natalie, also known as Samantha to some, was an enigma. Described by some as quiet and withdrawn, she left no obvious red flags that might have hinted at the darkness brewing within. Her family, cooperating fully with the investigation, was as shocked as the rest of the community. A disturbing artifact emerged from the investigation, an alleged manifesto titled "War Against Humanity," believed to have been written by Natalie. The document, filled with anger, resentment, and a chilling detachment from human life, provided a glimpse into the troubled mind of the young shooter. However, its authenticity remained under scrutiny, and investigators were working tirelessly to determine if it was indeed her creation. The investigation, still in its early stages, promised to be long and arduous, a painstaking search for answers in the fragmented life of a troubled teenager. The tragedy at Abundant Life Christian School sent shockwaves far beyond the borders of Madison. Across the nation and around the world, people reacted with horror and grief, their hearts heavy with the familiar weight of another senseless act of gun violence. Politicians, celebrities, and ordinary citizens alike took to social media and the airwaves to express their condolences and call for action. President Biden, visibly shaken by the news, addressed the nation, his voice heavy with sorrow and indignation. He called the shooting shocking and unconscionable, echoing the sentiments of a nation weary of mourning the victims of gun violence. The president renewed his call for Congress to enact stricter gun control measures, his words a passionate plea for action to prevent future tragedies. Representative Mark Pocan, representing Wisconsin's 2nd Congressional District, added his voice to the chorus demanding change. A vocal advocate for gun control, Pocan expressed outrage at the continued failure of lawmakers to address the issue of gun violence. He vowed to continue fighting for stricter gun laws, his words fueled by the memory of the lives lost and the families forever shattered by the tragedy in his state. Section 5. Madison in Mourning, a Community United. In the face of unspeakable tragedy, the community of Madison came together, their collective grief a testament to the shared bonds of humanity. A candlelight vigil, organized within hours of the shooting, provided a space for mourning, reflection, and a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness. Thousands gathered, their flickering candles a poignant symbol of solidarity and remembrance. Local businesses, demonstrating the spirit of community, stepped up to offer support. Restaurants provided free meals to first responders and families of victims. Counseling services offered free sessions to those struggling to cope with the emotional toll of the tragedy. The outpouring of support, both material and emotional, highlighted the strength and resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. The Abundant Life Christian School community, reeling from the loss of their beloved teacher and student, found solace in their shared faith. Prayer circles were held, offering comfort and a sense of unity in the face of unimaginable loss. Section 6. The Face of Fury, Female School Shooters. The tragic case of Natalie Rupnow brought into sharp focus a disturbing but statistically rare phenomenon: female school shooters. While the vast majority of school shootings are perpetrated by males, Natalie's actions served as a stark reminder that violence does not discriminate based on gender. Her case defied the stereotype, forcing a reassessment of assumptions and a deeper look into the complexities of such tragedies. Since 1999, only 9 female students have perpetrated school shootings, a stark contrast to the hundreds of cases involving male perpetrators. This stark disparity highlights the need for nuanced research and a deeper understanding of the factors that contribute to violence, regardless of the perpetrator's gender. While the motivations behind school shootings are complex and multifaceted, experts point to a combination of factors, including mental health issues, social isolation, bullying, and access to firearms. By acknowledging the possibility of female perpetrators, we can better address the underlying issues that contribute to violence and work towards creating safer environments for all students. Section 7. Seeking Answers, the investigation unfolds. As the community began the long process of healing, investigators worked tirelessly to piece together the events leading up to the shooting and to understand the motivations behind Natalie Rupnow's actions. The investigation, a complex and multifaceted endeavor, delved into every aspect of Natalie's life, seeking clues that might shed light on the darkness that consumed her. Forensic experts meticulously analyzed the alleged manifesto, War Against Humanity, painstakingly comparing the writing style, language, and content to Natalie's known writings. They scoured her social media accounts, searching for any posts or interactions that might reveal a motive or a cry for help. Interviews were conducted with Natalie's friends, classmates, teachers, and family members, each conversation a potential piece of the puzzle. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives traced the origin of the handgun used in the shooting, seeking to determine how Natalie obtained the weapon. The information gathered would not only provide answers to the community's many questions, but would also be invaluable in informing future efforts to prevent similar tragedies from occurring. Section 8. Healing the Scars, a Long Road Ahead. The road to healing from the tragedy at Abundant Life Christian School would be long and arduous, marked by both progress and setbacks. The physical wounds of the injured students would heal, but the emotional scars left by the trauma of that day would likely linger, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the ever-present threat of violence. The community, united in grief and determination, rallied around the victims and their families, offering support, love, and a listening ear. Trauma-informed counseling services were made readily available to students, staff, and families affected by the shooting, providing a safe space to process the trauma and begin the journey towards healing. The Abundant Life Christian school community faced the daunting task of rebuilding their sense of safety and normalcy. School officials, working closely with trauma experts, developed a comprehensive plan for reopening the school, prioritizing the emotional well-being of students and staff. The healing process would require patience, understanding, and a commitment to supporting one another through the difficult days, weeks, and months ahead. Section 9. Finding Light in Darkness, Hope Endures. Even in the darkest of times, hope endures. The tragic shooting at Abundant Life Christian School served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the ever-present threat of violence, but it also ignited a spark of hope, a collective determination to create a safer and more compassionate world. The community of Madison, united in grief and resilience, embodied the true spirit of hope. Their unwavering support for the victims and their families, their commitment to healing, and their determination to prevent future tragedies served as a beacon of light, illuminating the path forward. By understanding the motivations behind the shooter's actions, by identifying systemic failures that may have contributed to the events of that day, and by working together to address the root causes of violence, we can strive to create a world where such tragedies are no longer commonplace. The memory of the victims would forever serve as a reminder of the importance of compassion, understanding, and a steadfast commitment to creating a world free from violence.